I am the chair of this working group, and it really is my pleasure with our team to tell you that what kind of things we are doing with this working group people. And practicalities in the beginning. So this webinar will be recorded and it's going to be published later on in the YouTube channel of European Sensory Science Society. You are very welcome to give your comments and questions via the Q&A. So please use that option of the Google Meeting. Then we do have some extra participatory activities for you during this event. And those, your contribution is very important because those results, your inputs will help us to develop the working group activities further. And you are very warmly and mostly welcome, everyone. So let's continue. And in the beginning, or for the beginning, we do have some action for you. So all of you are invited to participate and fill the short questionnaire. You may either use the QR code here, or then you can use the link to the survey, which you are able to see from the chat. So we ask you to join. It will be also pretty nice activity, and you all are very warmly welcome to fill the short questionnaire. And then in the end of this webinar, we will look at the results together. And I wish that the link is there in the chat because I'm not able to see it now. But I think that I'm willing to continue, and I wish that you have catched the QR code with either your mobile or your pad or what kind of tool you are using or device. And then in the chat you will find the link to the same questionnaire. So go ahead and meanwhile I'm also talking, you are allowed to fill the questionnaire. And the program we have selected from our working group members, few speakers, and we are going to show you the overview of the different kind of actions, what we have done in the past, and then what we are doing at the moment. And our group thinks that education and sensory education is very, very important. And that's the reason also why our group exist. So my name is Mari Sandel, and I'm giving you the introduction to the education working group, what we have done during the last 10 years. So the education working group was established 2011. It has been part of the E3S, European Sensory Science Society, from the beginning. There have been several work group leaders. The first one was Professor Hely Tuorila from Finland. Then the second one was Catherine Dacremont from France. Then the third one was Paula Varela. And then at the moment, I do have this pleasure to be the leader of this education working group. And here, it's really my pleasure also to give great thanks for all these ladies that have been the chair of this group during the history of the working group. We do have nice websites as well. You do find the information about the European Sensory Science Society, so E3S, and we do have our own links there for the education. So please, when you have time after this webinar, and if you don't know that what is E3S or what is the E3S Education Working Group, you can also go there and find more detailed information. So please go and visit also our website. And why do we have this education working group? So from our point of view, we really think that it's very important to keep also the quality in general in the sensory education. And our national members, we do have people from several countries. You will see the member list also in the next slide. But uh, our national members are the link between the domestic universities and the national sensory groups and E3S. It's very important that we have like these so-called also education quality control people that are sharing the information together and also thinking that what is like the quality of the sensory education that is important to give for our students and future professionals. So our task of this working group is to collect data that is shared within the E3S network, and then in addition to spread relevant information related to education in our national sensory science societies. And this is very important and actually quite big goal also. So here's the list of our national representatives and also the members. We do have 13 countries and pretty much from all around the Europe, and very, very great people. I must say that it's a pleasure to be a member of this group because our discussions and our meetings are full of very important thinking and also working. They are like people are very, very active and fascinated by developing also the actions and sharing the information. And now it's also time to thank the present members of the working group. One important action that is going on, and we have been collecting the information that could help also all of you in the audience. So we have listed the name of the people that are potential external evaluators or the opponents for the PhD defenses on sensory science. And you can find the table like it is now, and the information that you have there on the table. You can find it behind our link. So it's under our education website. And how we have listed the information, we do have the name of the people, where they are coming from, and then what are the main areas of expertise. These are now the examples from Italy and then the Norway, that you're able to see that what kind of information we have there and what people, famous people we have there also listed. If you go to the table and you notice that there are some gaps and people are missing from the list, please contact me at the moment or then the future, who will be the next education working group leader in the future. Please contact the leader to update the information. And then we will also look at the names together with the working group, and we will decide if the potential candidate is suitable for this list. But this list has been used for different kind of activities, and it is really useful when you are in the situation that you try to find where to find a perfect solution for my PhD student defense, or maybe for my own PhD defense. So go ahead and look at the table. Then we do have working group, the education working group YouTube channel. Idea of this channel is to give a possibility for short videos that are made by students, for students to illustrate and explain the key aspect of sensory evaluation. And they could be related to methodology, like here you can find from the YouTube channel, for example of a triangle test and how is it working. And this is really the channel that it's okay to use and launch the videos here. And the action leaders of this YouTube channel, they are Catherine and Julian. Then ongoing action, one of those activities what we are now planning, this is coordinated by Carolina from our from Spain, is the PhD course and where the focus is on sensometrics and methodology. And this PhD course, it's also now the one that the group is planning. It gives the insights in statistical methods for sensory and consumer studies. Please follow what is happening. We will give you information soon that when and this is going to be organized. Looks like it's going to be organized in Spain, but when we are going to organize it. So this is now something that the working group is planning. Then the working group has kept the university level sensory science courses, and they have been listed since 2015. This is the example of the material you can find also from our website. You can find it from the university courses archive, and examples that what kind of courses we have had in the past, and at the moment we do have we do have the digital database service which started like the 2019. So before this one we had like the list of the documents that they were able to upload from the website. Then 2019 we launched the database, and Bettina is going to give you the virtual tour today, so we will all have a chance to go there and look at the database. And she will also explain the idea of the database. So these are some actions that we do have now ongoing. And now the next speaker will be Bodil Helen Allesen Holm from Denmark. And we are going to hear about the learning skills and elements in bachelor level sensory education and also master level. So Bodil, how are you doing?
Hi,
are you able
I'm good.
to? Good. It's your floor is yours. So I will
you.
stop now sharing my slides.
No, I thought you can just share your slides. That's perfect. Actually, that's really nice for me if you would like to do that.
Yes.
I'm
Sorry.
sitting in a university hallway in Denmark. I just left my teaching in sensory to go and present for you, which is why there is a bit of noise. So I have some students waiting for me for after my short presentation. And my name is Bodil, and I work at the University of Copenhagen, and I have been involved in this work by describing the learning skills and the elements of bachelor education. Next slide, please. So what we discussed, that we found the need for a template in designing sensory courses. That could both be new courses or it could be old courses that we were to redesign. We would look at bachelor level courses, and we would also look at master level courses. We know that a lot of courses already exist in Europe, so it was not a point of us to try and meddle with the stuff that people already do, but this was meant as a help for those who are running courses all over Europe within the sensory area. We thought that it could also be used to improve current or older courses, as well as create new ones. What we've done is that we made a template which describes a dream scenario. If we had all the time and all the money in the world, how would we do this? Next slide, please. Yes. So it's just to say that we are very different in the different European countries. We have different ECTS division of courses. We have different hours that we spend on courses, different durations. 3 short examples. Here in Denmark, we have an 8 weeks course that is 7.5 ECTS credits. But if you go to Switzerland, you can do 2 credits in 1 week. If you go to the Netherlands, you have a 4-week course, half time, for 3 credits. So it's very different, which is why the template is not just one size fits all. So you should think of it as something that gives you possibilities, and it will not give you any limitations in creating sensory courses. We've run the process through subgroup meetings. They have all been online during 2021. It has been members from the working group that has a lot of experience in bachelor level teaching. involved in this process, and I have been the lead of it, and I have myself a lot of experience teaching bachelor level courses. We've tried to divide the template into knowledge, skills, and competences. So when we look at the knowledge that we thought that students should have after taking this course is that they should know what sensory science is. They should also understand perception with all of what that entails. They should also know the elementary concepts and terminology that we use in our area, which is quite a lot actually. They should also know basic data analysis approaches when we have sensory data. They should also know external factors that can influence the validity of our results. We should also know something about how to design a sensory laboratory, know the principle of rapid methods. Since this is a bachelor level course, there will be some things where you think, isn't that missing? And no, it's not, because that's coming in the master level course that Bettina will state just a little bit about it. They also need knowledge on the difference between humans and sensory measurements and instrumental measurements. But they should also know the whole aspect of ethical regulations, GDPR rules, and everything else that's a requirement for carrying out a sensory test. For the skills, if you could take the next slide, Marie. Yes. Then they now need some abilities. What are they able to do? They are able to recruit and select assessors. That's running tests to recruit them and select them. They also need to know how to manage a sensory panel, everything that's under there. They also need to know how to act as a panel leader. So that's training in being a panel leader, all the psychological issues as well. They should be able to minimize biases when they do run experiments. They should also be able to go into the lab and prepare samples, so it's done in a scientific, valid way, and also, of course, present them. They should understand and apply different concepts within the sensory area. They should also be able to know the difference, of course, between flavor, taste, and so on. Conduct basic descriptive analysis methods, QDA, for instance. Basic discrimination tests, tetrad tests, triangle tests, and so on. Basic threshold tests, the different methodologies there. Hedonic test methods. They should also be able to conduct quality control tests. So they should be able to go into the lab and do these tests. They should know about the rapid methods, but they should be able to conduct all of the other methodologies. And then in the end, ability to analyze and interpret data that they get out of these tests that they have conducted. For the competences, like overall, choose the appropriate method. They get a research question, they can choose the method that they apply to this. They need to know the different sensory scales. They know the differences, and they also know the application of them. So in which context, which scale could be used. They should be able to reflect on product quality, measured product quality, that is. Reflect on the use of methods in quality control and in product development. And then you should be able to report experiments. So everything that goes from describing what you did to describing what comes out in the end. And then they should basically be able to run a sensory laboratory, also including infrastructure. That's the whole GDPR regulations, that leg, and also the whole panel. Yes, the next slide, please. So this dream course that we created, once you have passed this, you should be able to manage and run a lab and know and conduct all the basic sensory methodologies and report your findings. It sounds really easy, but I mean, how do I fit all of this into a course? Well, I can't. Probably not. Maybe if you had all the time in the world and all the money in the world, you would be able to. So of course, you would have to look at this template and see, okay, what can I use from this? What kind of competences do we have at my university? What kind of time frame do we have? Because we also think it's important to add the practical elements into the course. We have not described which practical elements we think should be included, but it's super important that there are practical elements. Right now, my students have been smelling some different herbs for their first sensory test. So getting your hands dirty is super important, especially at bachelor level. Yes?
It's pretty demanding. How about the master level then?
Yeah, so this is a little bit of work in progress. So the idea is to do a similar template, but for a master's level. And the idea, as Bodil said, is to develop this as a guideline for people who have to redefine their current courses or to develop new ones. And this will be divided also in skills, knowledge, and competences. So we will have, we're working right now in this kind of Excel file. So the idea is to have a similar one, but of course, at a master's level, students are expected to use more higher level cognitive skills. So not so much executing or just having knowledge of, but also being able to apply and to create. And then, we will share this with you as soon as we have it. And we hope that will be soon. But that's something we're developing now. Yeah.
Yes, because what we actually want to do is, of course, finish the master template. But then we also want to look at the bachelor template and see, okay, when we have the master template, is there anything that needs to be edited? Because things might move around. Competences, skills, and knowledge might shift between the two levels of courses. And once we're done, we will upload both templates to the webpage, of course.
And right now in the chat, I think all the attendees are involved in education in one way or the other, perhaps as students or as lecturers or coordinators of courses. So feel free to share in the chat any insights you have, like it's too ambitious, or what about these other skills that I'm teaching? They're not in this list. So feel free to put in the chat your thoughts about this, and it's good for us to collect also these. I was going to say data, these insights from you via the chat and via this session.
Thank you, Bettina. Will you now continue introducing us the course database and what we are going to what we are working now regarding to the E3S course database?
Yeah. So I share the. I'm going to first introduce this slide, and then I can do a virtual tour in the website for you. But yes, as it was said by Mari, this working group has been working on collecting information about the different courses all around Europe mainly, and this has been constantly been updated. And the idea now is to make it a bit more dynamic in the website, with the purpose of, if students or if us as mentors want to help students, go in Erasmus or find other courses in other universities, to find this in a very easy and intuitive way. So then the idea is that in the website itself, this will be in a very easy way, filtered by, for instance, the type of level that they want, or the date, or the topic, or the language, number of ECTS, and so on. So I'm going to guide you a little bit through this in case you have not visited it yet. So perhaps I can share this tab.
I will free now mine.
Yeah. Let me see.
So okay. Bettina will be now our.
Do you all hear me? I didn't hear Mari. I don't hear you.
Yes, we do.
Yes, good. We can hear you.
Okay, so basically this is the E3S website. So to get here, you have to go to education, and then here to university courses. And besides this, just as a recap, here you can see the news about our working group, the members. This will be introduced a bit later, and this is the courses archive that Mari was referring to before. So this is the idea is we're right now updating this Excel file, which is an Excel file where you can see in one shot all the courses that are given, but we're updating this. And this is the idea of this dynamic part that we were referring to. So for instance, if you want to come to the Netherlands, you would put here the students would put here in Netherlands, and then you would see all the courses. But people can also filter in terms of, I don't know, in terms of bachelor or masters, and also PhDs available. These are not yet available, but in terms of master, bachelor, and PhD or graduate, this can be filtered in terms of this, or also in terms of the language in which the courses are given. So for instance, I just selected France, and here on master level, and you can see the courses that are given in France at a master level related to sensory science. And of course, as we all know, when we have discussions with our working group, we realize not that many times courses are not only sensory science, but perhaps food technology, and then sensory science is a part of it, or it's sensometrics, or it's nutrition, and then there's some elements of sensory science to it. So in that case, there's always the website link, so that then people can also access the information from their the website of the university to have more information about this, because perhaps not the entire course is sensory science per se. And of course, this is the information we gather from the representatives of the different countries, and we as members of the education group collect this information from, in my case, the Netherlands, others from France and from Italy, and so on and so on. So if you, as a person involved in education, come here and do not see your course listed here, then please contact the education member representative of your country, and then for sure we will add this. So we're updating this constantly with the purpose of really helping students find courses around Europe that they can follow. And of course, if this is work in progress, make sure that this is updated, or if you know of other courses, keep us posted on it. Yeah. And that's it for me for the virtual tour.
Thank you so much, Bettina. So, ladies and gentlemen, our guide was Associate Professor Bettina Piqueras-Fisman. And now we will change the presenter, and the next speaker will be from Italy. And Lapo, are you ready to introduce us something fancy regarding to the 360 videos and how to apply and use them in the sensory education?
Yes, of course.
You are welcome. Floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to share my slides. So in the meantime, good afternoon to everybody. Okay. Now it should, okay. So I will talk to you briefly about the use of 360 degrees videos in sensory education. So I am Lapo Pierguidi, and I am from the University of Florence. So first, what is a 360-degree video? So we mean by 360-degree video a video that is recorded in any direction. So that reproduces a real scenario in which people could have a look around at 360 degrees. So I just show you a very brief example that we can find.
That you'll use in your future careers.
Okay, so like in this case, we are inside the classroom, so the teacher is explaining, and during the lesson, we can have a look around. So this is one example that could be found on YouTube of this kind of videos. But more important, why we are interested in engaging students in using these technologies, such as immersive videos? That because we already know that using these technologies could have a positive impact on student performance in terms of enjoyment, motivation, and time spent doing a task or learning a subject. So there are different applications of immersive technology. So for instance, there is the possibility to reproduce the real environment by the means of virtual reality. But one of the opportunity today is also to couple the representation of the environment with the use of VR glasses or head-mounted displays that could allow not only to watch a video or a virtual environment, but also to be immersed in this environment and even can interact with the environment. So one of the limitations of virtual reality is that it becomes very, very expensive and time-consuming. So if I would like to reproduce a classroom or a sensory laboratory to be used as a teaching support, I will need to model the entire environment in a way that it seems as more realistic as possible. And I also need that a programmer will write a code to let all the action in the environment be real. So 360 videos could be an opportunity to get an immersive scenario that is more close to the real situation, that because it's recorded in the real life, and it could also be even more cheaper and easy to get. But more in detail, we have also some information about the use of these videos in education. That because some scholars already have made some research in these aspects. And we know that also these videos have a positive impact on students in terms of an higher engagement, better results at the exams, and also and also they could help the students to complete their courses. Another interesting point is that the technology to let people be immersed in the scenario, so the VR glasses are becoming very, very cheap and easy to find. For instance, this cardboard VR allow to be immersed in a 360 environment, and it has a cost of more or less 10 euros. Another important point is that there is a need to let the lessons become less teacher-driven and more student-centered. So now there is a gap between the educational content that students can find outside, for instance, the university or the school, by the means of the content that they can find in social media. So they found on internet, on social platform, a lot of educational content that is really engaging. So it's with animation, music, with very nice recordings. And then when they came to the classroom, there is a gap in engagement, that because they found, at least in the university, a classic lesson with slides and the professor that explained. And other than these, students are also willing to be more at the center of the lesson, so more engaged, also with the teaching methods. So, but most important, how to use these videos for teaching sensory science. So we know that in sensory science classes, very often there is a first part that is made by frontal lessons. So the students hear the professor, read the book about sensory practice, sensory testing, and so on. And then in a second moment, they came to our laboratories to do some practical activities. But we noticed that when students came to the laboratory, sometimes they feel a little bit confused about what they have to do in the laboratory. So how to set up the tests, how to follow the procedures, how to use the tools that are necessary to run the tests. So one opportunity could be to put a step behind the theory and the practice in order to get students more comfortable with the sensory procedure. So in this case, they will hear the lesson, then it will interact in a 360 scenario, so in an immersive video, and only after they will came to the laboratory. Another opportunity is, unfortunately, due to the pandemic, to the COVID pandemic. that because in many cases it is no more, or it was, or unfortunately it is no more possible to let students came to the laboratory. So this technology gives another opportunity to, in this case, substitute temporarily the practical activities, so letting students learn about the procedures by watching and interacting with these videos. And this is also suitable for the blended learning. So when there are some students that are in the classroom and some students that are following the lesson at home. So with these tools, we can arrange this blended education. So knowing this need to put some new technologies in education at different levels, so in the university, but also in other degree of schools, the European Union has founded an Erasmus Plus project that is called SEPA 360 that have the aim to spread the use of these technologies among teachers and students. And in this project, they also provided a platform and an open source software to play and to edit the 360 video in order to get even a more interactive content, just like an augmented reality. So not only the recording of the environment, but also some additional interaction that we will see some example later. So, but if I would like to start with this technology, what I need? So, the very important thing to use the 360 video in education is to get a 360-degree camera. That is just a camera that have 2 or more lenses that record all the surrounding of an environment. So this is the only thing that is mandatory, but as you can imagine, they are now very common and they are not expensive tools. Then maybe you could also would like to use a video editing software if you want to add to the videos some background music or some texts or images and so on, but it's not mandatory that because very often you will get a software by the camera itself, or social platforms allow to edit the video, like in the case of YouTube. And then the opportunity is to use this vivista software that is free. Everybody can download, and it could be useful to enrich this kind of videos. So the steps to get these videos is first to record the videos with the 360 camera. Then, if one would like, could add to the video some music. There is opportunities to get royalty-free music if one do not want to make it more expensive. And then you can already upload on social media. So YouTube, Facebook, Vimeo, for instance, already have the technology to reproduce this video, and it is free to upload the video on this media, and so students can just watch by going to this platform. But if you want to do another step, so if you would like to further enrich your video with interactive points, you can go one step further using the vivista software. In this case, you can put inside the video some interactive points that could be pictures, videos, questions, audio files, and many more. So if you would like to do this, maybe you need to do some storyboarding. So like in the movies, you need to sketch a scene that you would like to record later. In this case, we see a sketch of a meeting room in which there is a panel leader and 2 judges. So the scene is reproducing the panel leader that is teaching to judges how to taste and to evaluate some food products. Now to the storyboard, you can add the actions that the actors are supposed to do during the recording, and you can put then some interactive points like images or a quiz or an audio file and so on. And you can also indicate how to locate the camera. In this case, there is no need of an operator that record the scene, but you just put the camera in the room and you go away and the camera record all the scene. So this is an example of the Vivista software, not the player, but the editor, in which you can just add as many interactive points as you like, and you can decide at which time the interaction point have to be available for the students to be interactive. So now I would like to show just a demo of one video that we made, just to let you know a little bit how it works. It has background music and an audio explanation, but since it is in Italian, I will close. But here you can see there is an operator that is preparing some samples. Of course, you can have a look at all the laboratory. We are in the back of the sensory booths. And then after a while, on the screen, it will appear some interaction points. For instance, here I can click, and the students will see an explanation and an image. In this case, this is an explanation about the MasterCard. So the students can learn that the MasterCard is important in this phase of the sample preparation, that because it allows to put the samples in the right position. Then becomes other interactive points, but I will skip just to let you see some other options. For instance, you can have a quiz, so the student in this case can select the answer and then check if the answer is correct or not. And then we can change scenario. Here we are in the sensory booths, so here the judges are evaluating the products. And even in this case, we can add some interaction here, like we did before. So I skip also this. Yes, you see other interactive points, like we can have a text, we can have also here an audio file that students can hear, and then we can move to another scene. Here there is the panel leader that is evaluating the data from the panel. We can see some graphic representation. Even here we can get a quiz. In this case, it is a quiz based on image. So this is just to get you a quick overview on how it looks at 360-degree videos when it is finished. So how to watch and interact with this video? You can do like I did now. So you can use a PC, navigating with the mouse and clicking clicking the interactive points. You can use a cardboard VR with YouTube, and you will get the possibility to be immersed in the video. So moving your head, you will see the laboratory. But in this case, you cannot interact. You can only watch. Or the best option, you can get VR glasses or head-mounted display. In this case, you will be immersed in the video, and with the pads, you will get some virtual hands, and you can interact with your hands, so providing even a more realistic and immersive experience. So we tried a first experience using this video with students in the University of Florence for the bachelor's degree in sensory science. So we invited 23 students to try this technology, since we were forced to close the laboratory due to the pandemic. So we would like to at least give some virtual experience for the students about the laboratory. So in this video, you can see the students that are wearing the head-mounted display, and they are navigating some different videos about descriptive analysis or discriminant tests, and they are interacting. So in this case, when they look around, they will see the laboratory, and as in the video that I showed you before, they can interact. But in this case, they are using their real hands to click on the interactive points, so answering questions, seeing videos, and there are so many other opportunities for interactive points that I have not shown, but there are even more. And then we asked students some feedbacks about this video. So with a little survey that was based on an agreement scale ranging from strongly disagree to strongly agree. We asked students if the 360 video felt like a learning experience. And here we can see that there is a strong agreement. So almost all the students are in agreement with this sentence. When we asked if they found the video a realistic portrayal of a professional practice, there was a little bit less strong agreement, but students are still in agreement. But we can think that maybe the video feel a little bit more suitable as an educational experience rather than a professional one in this case. So it depends on how you prepare the video. And then we asked students if the interaction points helped them focus their attention, and even here there is a very strong agreement. And finally, if they would like to use this system frequently. Here there is little less agreement, that because 1/3 agree somewhat, one third agreed strongly, and 1/3 was in the middle, so neither agree nor disagree. But we have to point out that this technology needs a little bit of training. So the first time you use it, it could feel a little bit weird. But after 1 or 2 times you use it, you get more familiar. That's because students, in particular the youngest one, are used to use this technology with video games, not for teaching purposes. And after, sorry, for least but not last, one of the main points of the project is not only to prepare the video and use it for let the students interact with them, but also to co-create with students this learning experience. So the storyboarding, the video recording, the editing, and the additional interactive points that we can put in the video could be done either with the students or by the students. So they can prepare this video while they are learning the practice of sensory testing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lapo. What a fascinating world and exciting. Hey, there is a question. I can give you this now right away from the audience. How long did it take to make the video?
Yeah, video making, so if you refer to recording, is very quick. You just have to have a sketch of the video and ask some people to represent the actors. Maybe it could take a little longer to draw the storyboard. So the phase in which you in which you think how the video should be made. So how to locate the camera, how many people, where to put the interaction points, and so on. Even the phase of editing with the Vivista software is very quick and easy, that because the software is focused only on this aspect. So it's a software that do only this thing, and it's very easy to use.
Okay, hey, how about giving some action again to our participants? So Lapo, you have something that you would like us to do. So this is now time to welcome you all to participate again. And let's see, tell us what we are planning to do next.
Yes, now we would like to hear your voice. So we propose you to a couple of questions. To answer this question, you can go on menti.com, as you can see in the upper part of the slide. I suggest to use your smartphone, so you can just type in the smartphone and watch the webinar in the meantime. When you came to the website, you just have to insert the code, so 15153844, and you will get these. Okay, nice. Someone is already answering. So as you can see, the answers are anonymous, and they will appear on the screen. So feel free to write down. Okay. In the meantime, if the speakers would like to do some comments, please feel free.
I think that for me, it looks like that we have some things to do during this year.
Yeah, many inputs. Then I will save these answers if you would like to go back in the future. But
I think the ideas for great practicals is something that many people need some inspirational. Like, okay, they learn this, but how can they apply it? Yeah, I mean, I think that we can even do a little workshop in the future to collect ideas on what people do, and then post them in our part of the website and share them. Perhaps that is inspiring for people setting up new courses. And some of these are work in progress, so it's good to see.
okay, any comments, or we would like to move to another question?
Let's take another one. Is it still okay to write this if somebody is still writing something?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. So go ahead, folks, and write your ideas. But we have a second question.
Yes, second question is out there. What do you think is the biggest challenge for sensory education?
I see that statistics keeps creeping in the top list of things.
I think. Hello, I'm Carolina. I see that statistics has appeared several times, and it was not me, eh? It was
Are you sure now?
completely
Carolina,
sure.
Carolina, we are looking for your PhD course.
Oh, I was thinking that perhaps. Well, okay. See, let's see. I cannot refuse to teach. It's my role. let's see what will.
L-
It will be
in-
exciting, a new challenge.
Yeah. In general, it looks like that this is maybe a little bit more challenging question also for our audience than the first one, because now it's a little bit that the answers are getting more slower than during the first question.
Well, I do not understand why statistic is a worry for people teaching sensory. There is something that doesn't work properly here. So I'm a little bit confused. If we have people who are teaching sensory in the audience and they found difficult to teach statistics, or if we have students here who are worried about the statistics, maybe someone who wrote down statistics could explain this a little bit, or methods to teaching statistics.
I think, Erminio, we have both students and teachers tonight in our audience who are now giving answers for the question. And we are very grateful for all of these, all of the contribution that you have given for us. This is very useful for us to develop also the activities further. But go ahead, Bettina. You were planning to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say that in general, statistics is a little bit challenging for many students, not necessarily for science, sensory science, but across all disciplines. So perhaps for a course that is not specialized in statistics and having to involve some analysis when students don't have the level, of course, it's a bit of a struggle. But I guess that's applicable to all disciplines. But yeah, I see also here making them interested or creating good sensory scientists. And also that's a bit of a challenge, no? Because many times the courses are not necessarily, there's not a sensory science program per se, but it's food technology or nutrition or psychology. So then they do not always end up being sensory scientists, but it's a bit tangential for them perhaps. So we're keeping them motivated, and in my case I really try to show them videos on this website of the E3S to help them discover what sensory science is, because perhaps they've not heard about that before in depth. So then it's good to open their eye, like, look at all these resources that you have, and also PhDs opportunities. So it's I don't know what others do in their programs, but it's something that they might not have heard in their food technology or nutrition or other backgrounds. So it's good to show them this website, this working group, and then hopefully they get inspired and motivated to follow this path also. Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, I think that we do you all remember that you actually filled the questionnaire in the beginning, and Lauren, you have been processing the data. So it would be nice to see that how people started before actually we explained all the things what has been now done, that what was like the beginning phase, and now we ended to these other things. So please explain and tell us what you found. Thank you.
Yes, well, it was very kind. 19 people completed the survey, so thank you everyone for doing that. I didn't use any statistics in my analysis. I just pressed the analysis button, so it was nice and easy. So for the first question, it was, what was your view of the effectiveness of our aims and objectives? So some very nice answers there. Thank you. It looks like we are very effective. And then, what do you think about the E3S Education Working Group's course listing? Generally very helpful. And I think that goes without saying, really, because it's such a great list, isn't it? Useful for students and for teachers. And then question 3 was about the YouTube video channel. So people are saying that's very helpful or extremely helpful. And question 4, what do you think about the list of external examiners? So it's a very useful area where people can go and choose people to help them with their PhD students. So people then are thinking that's extremely helpful and very helpful. So our hard work is paying off, Mary, I think. And then for the Education Working Group's basic sensory program guidance, again, people are saying it's very helpful and extremely helpful. So it looks like we've got some really good results here, Mary, and I'll send them to you after the meeting.
Thank you so much, Lauren. So it's now 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or 4 o'clock, depending on where you are located. And we promised to give you 1 hour webinar and explaining, also introducing the activities in our working group education. And we have received nicely the feedback from you, and we wish that you have also learned maybe something new things, and also at least known that who are those people who are behind these activities and the working group. It's really my pleasure to start closing this this session, and still once again, great thanks for all of those who are members of the working groups and who have been members during this past 10 years, because the work is very, very important. And we wish to be helpful also for university teachers as well as for students. It's important to give ideas that how the classes and courses could be even more fascinating than they are now. So on behalf of our working group and E3S, I thank you all for your participating and really active participating. And it's time to say goodbye and see you soon.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you very
Bye.
much for the presentations. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye,
Bye
bye.
bye. See you soon.
See you soon.
See you soon in May, perhaps.
Thank you so much. See you.
Well,
Bye.
Mary, this was very good. Yeah, we had a very
Yes.
good number of attendance, 45, which was very good because the topic is not an easy one. Yeah, I think it was a very good workshop. Congratulations! It was good. Good.
Very animated, very active. So it was
Interactive,
and
yes.
varied. It was not boring ever. It was very good. Easy to follow. Excellent.
Yes, I agree. Really nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So when are you going to? I mean, how long time does it take to launch the video? And are you taking
You can
some
stop the registration now.
the
Yes.
recording? Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, see you soon. Bye.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye. See you
Bye.
soon. We will.